r/AskReddit, what's an actual victimless crime? Sleeping in your car when you are too drunk and can't drive. Pirating abandoned media. Sleeping in your car. Buying wine on Sunday morning. Or probably selling it is the crime. Zoning violations for opening your church to the homeless on a freezing night. Downloading very old games that are no longer available for sale. In my state it's illegal for a woman to drive a car while wearing a housecoat, so I'll go with that. Women in Iran showing their hair. Edit, in Iran, and in any other country that mandates it. Owning more than 6 dildos in Texas. Jaywalking when there are no cars on the road. Giving food away at end of day. It's either helping or just harming people. You only get punished for helping. Also buying alcohol on certain days. Why? Just burdening all. Stealing from dumpsters. Collecting seeds from plants. Emulating and/or pirating a game that is no longer available by any means. Collecting rainwater to water your garden. Growing food on your own private property. Only some states. Consensual anal sex. Sleeping in your car. At all. Too drunk? Homeless. Too tired so you pulled over? Wife kicked you out because she found you had a secret porn addiction and were sending dick pics to Redditors and subscribing to glory hole subreddits and buying dildos so huge that Robin Leach'll get jealous. And don't forget about that dirty ass bitch you stuck your nasty dick in and gaslit me until I was apologizing. I forgot what we were talking about. Forgetting your license at home and driving. The fact that the piece of paper is in my wallet or not doesn't affect the driver's ability in any way, and the police can look you up in their database. But if caught, you will be fined. It's arcane nonsense. Most things that fall under obscenity. If you can't justify why something is harmful beyond "I don't like it," it isn't harmful. Smoking weed that you grew on your own land yourself. At least in some backward places it's still a crime. Sleeping in your car when you are too drunk and can't drive. Helping the poor. NK just sentenced 2 boys to 12 years for watching soap operas or something. Truly disgusting. Voluntary euthanasia. Transactional sex. A kid's lemonade stand, the ones where the city comes and busts up their operation. Shitting in my own car. Blasphemy. Selling marijuana to consenting adults. Pirating content that is out of distribution. If a company hasn't tried to make money on a game, it shouldn't be a problem to play its ROM. Looking at you, Nintendo. Using ROMs of video games that are unavailable through legal means. Something similar is going to happen with all the content being removed from streaming services for tax purposes. Being an adult and having consensual sex for money. Isn't it illegal in some places to collect your own rainwater? Prostitution or abortion done with totally free agency/autonomy by women in states where those acts are crimes. Jaywalking, I have seen people getting fined by that. Ridiculous if there is no traffic. Consensual sex. There are a lot of laws against 2 consenting people doing this. And, in the comments if you think I am talking about children, you are the sick one. Still a crime for a woman to walk down a state highway in a bikini in my state unless she's protected by a man carrying a club. I'm gay and feel bad for my straight brothers on that one face with tears of joy. Also no booze before 12 p.m. Sunday. Shoplifting is victimless crime. Like punching someone in the dark. Nelson Muntz. Any type of sexual act between consenting adults. Breaking traffic laws when there are no cars or people around. Putting coins in expiring parking meters that aren't your own. Most vice crime, drugs, prostitution, gambling, etc. Obviously not all of it, for instance if it's sex slavery type prostitution. Basically any crime that involves someone existing while being poor. Loitering, trespassing, in some cases, vagrancy, etc. If the person is doing something harmful, they can be prosecuted for doing that harmful thing. But often these catch-all charges are a way of penalizing people for being an eyesore. I live in a small town and we had a local Facebook group in uproar because the homeless are congregating near the library. It's not the homeless, but it is a small group of very poor local residents who use the library Wi-Fi after hours sometimes. Internet access in this area is spotty and expensive. And so the cops have started chasing them off and threatening to arrest them for trespassing and loitering. My office is near there. I guarantee you that if I left my office after dark, in my polo and slacks, and stood in the doorway of the library drinking a Monster and getting online on my tablet, nobody in town would complain. Even if I did it every night. It would just be some quirky thing I do. The only real issue is that these people are poor, and their poverty is in public view. Illegal file sharing. Fuck all those stupid ads in the late 90s and early 200s that tried to compare piracy to car theft. It's not theft if you aren't taking it away from someone else. On a side note, I once got a cease and desist notice to my college accusing NE of illegal file sharing, but the part that was supposed to list the victim musician was blank, so the record company essentially got me banned from my college's internet despite them not even listing the victim or song I was accused of sharing, so in my book they're the real criminals and I was the victim. Self-plagiarism. A crime in academia at least. So silly. Honestly, this made me think of the Hangover quote about counting cards. It's not illegal, it's frowned upon, like masturbating on an airplane. Clearly not a victimless crime, but a hilarious line. Not reporting your cash tips to the IRS. Sleeping in your pirated video game when you are drunk. Downloading an old car when it is no longer for sale. The Detroit Pistons record this year. Home distilling alcohol for personal consumption. Walking around in cemetery after you're not supposed to. Homeless people living in tents or sleeping in public parks. If anything, the victim would be the homeless person. When you buy a new pillow and secretly cut off the tag that says "Do not remove under penalty of law." Growing cannabis for personal use on your private property. Doing drugs for your own pleasure. Living in a van down by the river and rolling doobies. Not doing your Sunday archery practice in the UK as a male. This has been a law since 1515 and just was never written out of law. Hiring an escort who's in it for herself and is professional. Not trafficking. And no, spouses aren't victims. Downvote me if you want, but it's true. Piracy. Gambling, engaging in illegal gambling where all participants are consenting adults. Prostitution service between a consenting adult woman of her own free will and her client. Picking bluebonnets in Texas. Pirating Ubisoft games after telling us to get comfortable with not owning our games from now on. Cannabis. It's illegal to eat chicken with a fork in Georgia. Going through a red light at 3 a.m. when no one is around. Crossing the street outside the crosswalk. Jaywalking. It's illegal for women to wear pants in my state. Nobody has ever been charged for that though. Pirating content that is not available through any legal means. Being homeless on the street, minus the homeless person. Picking up a hawk feather from the ground and keeping it. Loitering. Pirating from Adobe. Blasphemy. Smoking weed in your own home, then killing a 2-liter of pop and a bag of Doritos while playing video games for a couple of hours. Growing wheat to feed animals on your own farm. Paying someone's expired parking meter. Reaffirming your ownership over digital and physical products that companies have started offering as subscriptions. What reaffirming means is context dependent. If you paid for it, you own it. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you have enjoyed this video and subscribe to never miss an upload.